And going.
Hello, artists. Welcome. I hope you're enjoying your vacation. I certainly am. Well, I'm here today with some exciting news for you. I have another special guest for you. Let's bring in the special guest. It's Ben!
Hello!
Yay!
Hey, everybody.
Do you see our family resemblance?
We like to pig out.
Hmm.
That's real good.
Okay, well, actually, it's not my real nose.
Not mine either.
So, if you remember, last year we did an awesome collaboration with Ben. Ben, where were you last year?
I was in Villa Tenare in Bolivia.
And what were you doing?
I was working with spider monkeys.
For how long?
I was there for 7 months.
Okay, so here's a story if you don't remember it or don't know. I saw Ben making some social media posts about his journey in Bolivia, and I thought, wow, that's amazing. We need to be like pen pals. So we became digital pen pals. I asked Ben to collaborate with my classes, with you guys, and he graciously agreed. And then he shared his travel and his time and his work with the monkeys in Bolivia with us through pictures and video and answering our questions. And you made an amazing audio letter for us, complete with monkey noises. Mm-hmm. And thank you for that, by the way. That was really a highlight of my career, and I think that my students really enjoyed it as well. It was just amazing to learn about spider monkeys and to get to know them personally the way that you do, to know their names, to know their ages and their characteristics. And so I know I learned a lot, and we got to make some pretty cool artwork. Yeah.
That was amazing.
I'm glad. And we turned both of our art rooms into Bolivian jungles, which I shared with you. So thank you for giving that opportunity. It's really good to be able to collaborate with you. So I thought that you guys would really appreciate seeing Ben. So I have a few interview questions for you because inquiring students want to know.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Do you have any favorite pastimes, like things you like to do in your free time?
Well, I like to read. I like to play guitar a whole lot. And recently I've started to learn how to play video games.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a major accomplishment for me.
It would be for me too. Kind of mixed feelings about those video games. Very creative, very artistic, but some people can get drawn in and play them too much. So
yes, it's very true. It's really hard to not go all in and spend all day on them, which is not healthy. After a few hours, you need to do something else with your time. Right.
It's hard to find that balance, even hard for adults to find that balance. We tend to spend too much time on our screens, but a little bit is great. So finding balance. So what's your favorite game so far?
I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn, which is very fun.
Okay. I don't know anything about it. You'll have to tell me later.
Robot dinosaurs.
Oh, cool. Okay, next question. What kind of education do you have that leads you to be a monkey manager in Bolivia? I know you went to high school, and then what?
And then I went to college, and I studied English and psychology at Kent State. And then I went back to school, and I studied environmental science. And I'm currently in school again to study biology.
So that is 3 bachelor's degrees, right?
Yeah, technically, and a
so
master's.
3 bachelor's degrees and a master's. That you're working on a master's now. Okay. How did you feel about school when you were in school? Did you like it, or were there hard times, or?
There were some very hard times.
I mean, like kindergarten through 12th grade, like, yeah.
There was definitely some ups and downs.
Yeah.
But once I got to college, I enjoyed it a whole lot more, I would say.
Okay. All right. What do you feel like education adds to your life?
I really enjoy learning about everything. I enjoyed reading about literature, and I enjoy science. It makes experiencing the world better when you know things about it and what you're looking at and what you're experiencing, and learning what everybody else has learned about those things as well and how they're seeing things it makes your life more rich.
The collected knowledge. And you shared that richness with us, because it wasn't just pictures of monkeys that you were sharing their scientific names and the characteristics of the monkeys and the science behind the ecosystem of the rainforest. And it really was a very rich amount of information that you shared with us, and that's what part of what made it so good. So thank you. And it's evident that your learning has been enjoyable for you and enriching.
Yeah, it shouldn't be something you feel always forced to do. Sometimes it can be very hard to sit down and study and pay attention, but you should really learn how to enjoy it. And discovery is something you can do in a book, in nature, and it's one of the best experiences you can have in life. So education is a key to happiness, I think.
True. And not everyone is going to get, how many? 3 bachelor's degrees and a master's.
Don't recommend it.
And you don't have to, that wasn't the point. I just wanted to share the different types of study. The interesting thing about you is that you have a real love of learning. It's not that you have to learn. It's not that you have to get all these degrees. I think for you, it's that you genuinely love learning. So whether it's in school or whether it's outside of school, learning makes your life better.
Some of the best and most knowledgeable naturalists are people that have learned on their own. They don't have academic credentials. They just have a passion for discovering and reading and learning on their own. So it's not all about the degree. It's about understanding the world around you and appreciating it.
It's not about the book. It's not about just books either, because a huge part of your learning was going to Bolivia and being in the rainforest with the monkeys.
It's about observation, and yeah, you can learn in many ways. It's not just in the classroom.
So that leads me to the next question about observation and experiences. You've traveled a lot of places. Where are some of the places you've traveled? And
I've traveled a lot in Latin America, so I've been to Bolivia, of course, and its neighbor Peru. I've been to Colombia, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Costa Rica, and then on the other side of the world, I've been to a lot of Asian countries such as Korea, Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam. And so, yeah, I like to travel, especially in the tropics.
It's amazing. I remember, and I have not traveled nearly as much. I haven't traveled nearly as. Hold on, we're gonna have to take a break. Sorry for that interruption. I believe I was talking about when I was in Ghana. Well, I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Ghana, West Africa, and I remember you writing to me and saying, wow, I really want to travel. And at that point, you hadn't traveled very much, but then you really got the travel bug and went all over. And so what does traveling add to your life?
Well, it's really wonderful when you travel. You get to learn about different ecosystems and animals, of course, that I'm interested in. But you also learn about different people and cultures and ways of living and the way they view the world. And that adds value to your life and makes you reevaluate your life back home with a different a kind of lens through which to see yourself.
I agree. Before you travel, you think that the way you live is the way that everyone else lives. And when you travel and you realize, no, there's a lot of diversity and variety in the world. And I think it kind of helps you understand other people's perspectives and points of view.
You become more empathetic, compassionate, and it's humbling yet inspiring at the same time. So I really enjoy traveling.
Yeah, definitely. What are you doing now? What keeps you busy?
Now I'm back home in Cleveland, Ohio, and I work at a dog daycare. And we do overnight boarding as well. So when people go on their vacations, they can bring their dogs to us and we'll take care of their dogs for them. Make sure that they're healthy and happy while they're gone. And so basically every day I play with dogs.
Ooh.
And it's a great time.
Dogs are amazing. And so animals once again. How do dogs compare to monkeys?
Well, dogs are a domestic animal, of course. So they're much, I wouldn't say they're easier to manage because you're bringing a lot of people's different dogs together, and sometimes dogs growl and bite and snap at each other. So you have to manage their conflict. But it's a completely different category of animal with different backgrounds. So it's been a learning experience for me. I'm used to working more with wildlife and working with domestic pets, and you also have dog owners that are very concerned about their dogs. So it's about reassuring them and making sure that they're comfortable with their dog being with you as well.
Right, the bond between humans and dogs can be very powerful. And the monkeys you were working with, well, they had people that cared about them because they were in a rehabilitation center, but they were kind of free.
Yeah, they're more wild animals.
Individuals, yeah.
And working in both settings, I would say it's very easy to fall in love with the animals you're caring for. Because right now I'm completely smitten with a Doberman named Hans. In Bolivia, I was smitten with so many of the monkeys I worked with, in particular Iggy, which you mentioned earlier. So
yeah, well, and it makes me realize a difference too that you learn from traveling. When I was in Ghana, the way people had dogs in Ghana was much different than the way we have dogs here. In Ghana, you have a dog, but the dog can roam freely and travel as they like. So I had a friend who had a dog, and the dog would come and he would give him food. But the dog would also travel around to all his other friends in the village and get treats and just come and go as they like. So it was like they are a little more wild and had more freedom, not kept by a human, not kept in a fence.
It's the same in Bolivia and many other places I've been. Yeah.
Interesting cultural differences.
Yeah, yeah.
So switching topics to art, do you have a favorite artist?
Well, I've thought about this, and I appreciate so many artists, but I would say one that I've come back to many times over the years is Frida Kahlo, and I was lucky enough to go to Mexico City just 2 years ago and to visit the Blue House where she lived, and to see a lot of her art and where it was created firsthand in Coyoacan in Mexico City, and that was a real pleasure for me. So I would say Frida.
I would say Frida myself as well, and many other people have different favorite artists. And we've studied Frida with a few of my students and saw the Blue House. So that's amazing that you got to go there. So I tell them that she was an original selfie maker.
Yeah.
She dealt in self-portraits, expressive self-portraits that showed her going through her struggles in life. She had many struggles in life, but she had pet monkeys, which we
spider monkeys,
right, which you actually talk about not liking the idea of humans owning monkeys because it's not good for the monkeys typically.
Yeah. It was a different time when Frida had her spider monkeys. I think she had 3 at one point. And judging by today's standards, that would be very much frowned upon and illegal. The problem with wildlife trafficking for the pet trade, the monkey is taken from the wild. The mother is usually shot, and then the baby's taken, and I think upwards of 80% die before they make it to a home with a pet owner, and they don't do well. I mean, they grow up, they're meant to be around other monkeys, to be socialized properly. They act out, they destroy the house, they're unhappy, they bite, and then the owner will surrender them. Well, they can't be put back into the wild because they weren't raised. They didn't learn from their monkey troop how to be a proper monkey. So it's a sad thing. It looks like it would be fun, and in my heart of hearts, I would love to have a monkey buddy with me every day. But I know that it's not the right thing, as much as it makes me sad. So don't own a monkey.
Yeah. So yeah, she definitely had, at that time, she had monkeys, and they are in her portraits. Because I think I read somewhere that she kind of had them she didn't have children, so they were kind of like her children. Yeah. So those are some really cool portraits to look at. Do you ever make art?
I do. I like to paint. It's been a while since I've painted, but I would love to get back into it. And I'm colorblind, so I like to do portraits, not of myself, but often of famous people with animals on their heads. the big long series of those, and we give them to my friends.
I think I've seen one or two. Yeah. Probably not all of them.
Yeah, and so it's really fun, and I don't worry about trying to get the flesh tones right. So some of my people are green-faced, and I use really vibrant colors and just have fun with it, and I really enjoy it. And who doesn't look better with a squirrel on their head?
Probably most of us would. They're pretty cute, although I think it'd be kind of painful. Their claws are sharp.
Not a real squirrel.
Painted squirrel.
Yeah, just a painted one.
Fun. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope my students enjoy this interview and enjoy getting to see you and listen to a little bit more of your life story. I hope you have a happy holiday.
You too. Thank you very much for having me, and it's been a pleasure to get to talk to you all.
Class dismissed.